Now on Coast TV News.
A freeze warning continues through mid-morning, then sunny and cool today with less wind. Protect your plants again tonight for patchy frost. Details coming up.
Tracking whale tragedy, the failed attempt to beach the dead whale at the Indian River Inlet and its status this morning.
Coastal cash cut, the reaction in Fenwick Island after the loss of federal money for programs designed to protect its beaches.
Pairing primary dates. We look at the bill approved by the Delaware House that changes the election calendar in the state.
This is Coast TV News Today.
It is Wednesday, April 9th, 2025. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
And good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us for our 5 o'clock hour.
Welcome back, winter.
Oh, yes, welcome back, winter.
It's a cold one to start our day.
Miss you so much. That's for sure.
I don't think we did, but we have to deal with it.
No.
I didn't. I don't know how you roll.
I did not miss it. My car thermometer, 36 degrees
I was wondering if I should bring that up because it's kind of an ongoing thing. We get a gauge of what the temperatures are like based on your...
Maybe I'll have you start guessing it.
We could do that.
We'll do a little game.
I'm going to guess 35.
Okay, that's pretty close. I heard Bob say that his car also said 36. So, Bob, we're all on the same page. It's cold this morning.
We're all in the same ballpark. Good morning to you guys. Good morning, Delmarva. I had 35 to 36 on my car thermometer. Now, the saving grace, so to speak, is we had a little breeze overnight mixing things up, so that really prevented the temperatures from bottoming out. But now the winds are going calm inland areas. So 32 in Delmar, 34 in Georgetown, 34 in Red and Salisbury, 33, and mid to upper 30s at the coast right now. You can see the winds are going calm inland areas, but still a bit of a breeze at the coast. So in some cases, it feels like upper 20s in Salisbury, back through Indian River Inlet. Feels like 32 out the door in Delmar. So make sure you bundle up. Still have that freeze warning through mid-morning interior Sussex County, not along the immediate coast from Lewis to Ocean View. However, make sure you protect your plants still for the next few hours, especially inland areas, Seaford through Gumboro, Georgetown, and Millsboro as well. I think with the winds going calm, we will drop below freezing in here the next couple of hours. Freeze warning too from Salisbury to Pittsville, Ocean Pines, Sinnapunxet down to Snow Hill, and the Eastern Shore also under a freeze warning from Easton to Hurlock and Mardella Springs, as we will be seeing those temperatures dipping as we have clear skies right now and mainly calm winds as high pressure is beginning to move in. Had that high been right over the top of us, and temperatures really would have bottomed out, but it's still a little bit back to our west, so we have a bit of a northwesterly flow. But as that high settles over us today, we're looking at lots of sunshine, less wind, thankfully, than yesterday, and cooler conditions. But frosty conditions this morning and freezing readings, 30 to about 34 inland areas, a little milder at the beaches, and then a slow rise through the 30s into the 40s mid-morning and lighter winds. By 11, we're in the mid-40s, and it's a slow climb through the 40s into the low 50s by about 4:30, about 52 in Salisbury, but cooler 40s at the coast, and then cooling down again for this evening. So pretty cold start. You can see the lighter winds today with lots of sunshine and temperatures a little cooler. Another frosty chance tonight, so protect your plants in the overnight hours. Then it looks like increasing rain chances by the end of the week. Much more in your forecast coming up a little bit later on.
Look forward to that. Thank you, Bob. Let's check out these freezing conditions this morning. Here's a live look at Milford, and can't really tell if there's frost on the ground or not. There wasn't really any here at our studios in Milton, but we are beginning this morning all over Delmarva around that freezing mark. Not spring-like weather for sure, as low temperatures are a big part of our overnight story. Temperatures that led to concern about frost. And you may be wondering how to keep your foliage friends safe. Coast TV spoke with Bella Terra Landscapes and Garden Centers to see what are the best ways to keep your plants safe while facing a freeze.
If you have things that are actually planted in the ground, just covering them up with an old sheet or some old newspaper. Here at the Garden Center, we're using cotton cloths, and then plants that are in pots, you just may want to tuck them into your shed or your garage.
And the freeze warning is expected to end at 9 a.m. and you can track all of our weather conditions with our First Alert Weather app.
And having frost at this time of year is not uncommon. We looked at data from the National Gardening Association, and Matt, here's what we found.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. The historical average for this date shows a 30% chance of frost in Dewey Beach. It jumps up to 50% in Ocean City. It's also 50% in Georgetown and 40% in Selbyville.
Happening now, Mayor is still following the dead whale recently found along the Delaware coast. On Tuesday, the whale floated into the Indian River Inlet, and that's when the Mayor Institute attempted to beach the whale Tuesday as it moved out to sea. But it was just moving too fast. The whale is now headed south and can be identified by an orange ball float still attached to it.
Happening today, Rehoboth Beach says goodbye to 2 boardwalk businesses. According to the city, crews could begin demolition of the Sirocco Motel and Grotto's Pizza as early as today. A study on the motel found structural damage in several places, including a support pillar. The project requires the north side of the Baltimore Avenue sidewalk leading to the boardwalk to close. That demolition is a small part of the larger construction of the new One Rehoboth Hotel.
In Fenwick Island, FEMA funding called a BRIC grant was pulled from the town, and instead that money is being sent to North Carolina for hurricane recovery support. Fenwick Island Mayor Natalie Magdeburger says the FEMA grant would have been used to bring on engineers who would determine responses to sea level changes, including alterations and repairs to existing bulkheads along the coast. Magdeburger says the BRIC grant would have totaled about $300,000, with the town covering around 25% of that.
New this morning, there could be a new date for primary elections in Delaware. On Tuesday, a bill was approved in the state house that would eliminate holding separate elections in Delaware during presidential voting years. House Bill 65 passed an overwhelming majority. It applies to statewide, county, and municipal primaries. The new date will be the 4th Tuesday in April that would align with the dates of the presidential primaries in Delaware. The bill now goes to the Senate for review, and if it is signed into law, it will take effect in 2027.
39 representatives voted in favor of House Bill 65. 1 did not, and 1 was absent. That absent member was Democrat Stell Parker Selby, who represents District 20, which covers Milton and part of Lewis. In fact, she has been a no-show for the entire session of the General Assembly that began in January. Around that time, she sent a letter stating she would not be in attendance due to a, quote, medical event. On Tuesday, there were over 10 pieces of legislation voted on by the House. Today, over 10 more items could come up for a vote. We have not had any indication that Parker Selby will be there to represent her district.
We are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. Investors are in the white-knuckle grip mode this morning as the biggest tariffs yet kicked in overnight. And China, who now faces an increase of 104%, is vowing to, quote, fight to the end.
Analysts, business leaders, and lawmakers, they warn of an escalating trade war. NBC's Alice Barr shows us how President Trump and his team insist the pain in the pocket for Americans will be short-lived and the country will profit.
Not going to take it anymore. And that's
this morning, President Trump's trade war ratcheting up as his unprecedented tariffs on imports from around the world took effect just after midnight, spooking Wall Street investors once again.
I know what the hell I'm doing. I know what I'm doing.
The White House says 70 countries have already reached out to negotiate down the tariffs.
They are dying to make a deal. Please, please, sir, make a deal.
Something some Republicans wary of stock market plunges and recession warnings are begging the president to do.
Pretty pleased with sugar on top. You sit down with every one of these countries that want to lower their trade barriers, and let's make a deal.
Others standing by President Trump's tariff strategy.
To reset, recalibrate the entire global economy by bringing it all home to America.
But economists warn it will take years to rebuild American manufacturing for products like apparel and electronics that long ago shifted overseas, with the U.S. especially reliant on China, now hit with a cumulative 104% tariff. China firing back with retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods. Some products like imported auto parts already seeing sticker shock from earlier tariff rounds.
There was one part that was around $280, and then 2 days later, the cost went up to like $328.
Democrats underscoring higher prices for American consumers.
The U.S. economy has gone from the envy of the world to a laughingstock in less time than it took to finish March Madness.
As President Trump stands firm that his big bet on trade will pay off. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
We're just getting started in this hour of Coast TV News today.
Coming up, Inland Bay's dismay, the response by the organization after learning about the loss of federal money.
Also, a Velo immigration agreement will tell you why the company is defending the new deal with the Department of Homeland Security.
And Millsboro closures continue. What part of Route 113 will be impacted and for how long? All that and more as Coast TV News Today continues.
5:12 on this cold Wednesday morning, just above freezing on the Spicer Brothers camera in Salisbury 33. We have a freeze warning through 9 a.m. for everybody, excluding the coast, where you've got 36 in Rehoboth right now, 36 in Bethany Beach, but right around freezing now in Salisbury and Delmarva, just above in Seaford, as the winds have gone calm inland, so that will allow temperatures to fall a couple more degrees before sunrise, but a little bit of a breeze along the coast is keeping you, well, that air mixed up and keeping you frost-free right now. We're looking at clear skies. That'll be the case all day, and those winds we had yesterday are relaxing as high pressure is sliding overhead. It will be a sunny day, but a chilly day. Here's your drive cast this morning. Leave extra time to get to work or school. It will be a frosty start. Warm up the car, especially away from the coast, looking at temperatures dipping below freezing, and then sunny and cool for the PM commute. That gave it the green light as the winds calm down with lots of blue skies.
We have several more nights of closures on Route 113 in Millsboro, and this is related to the bypass project. According to DelDOT, crews will continue working through April 11th, and DelDOT says this is to place beams for the new bridge. Starting today, the closures are affecting drivers in the northbound lanes. DelDOT says crews are working from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
An update to road work taking place in Georgetown. According to the town, DelDOT has postponed lane and shoulder closures. On your screen now is the road crossing where the Delmarva Central Railroad Company is performing maintenance work on Route 9. That work is set to begin today and is now scheduled for tomorrow beginning at 9 a.m. That work is expected to be completed by April 25th at 5 p.m.
This just in, Salisbury is preparing for its annual Hops on the River event. Because of this, officials are announcing road closures that will be in place. Drivers will have to avoid South Division Street from Times Square to Camden Street, also West Market Street along the library, and Circle Avenue from West Market Street to the parking garage. Hops on the River takes place Saturday, April 12th, and closures are in effect from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Federal investigators are looking into an apparent air traffic control error that led to a near miss last month in the Washington, D.C. area. On March 28th, a formation of military jets was headed to Arlington National Cemetery for a flyover. They came less than 3,900 feet laterally from a Delta plane that was taking off from Reagan National Airport. That means a collision was averted about 5 seconds to spare. This follows the deadly tragedy near Reagan National Airport in January, where 67 people on an American Airlines flight died after a midair collision with a military helicopter.
The controversial congestion tolling program in New York, it charges most drivers a $9 toll to enter Manhattan's main business district during peak traffic times. President Trump promised to end the toll soon after taking office, claiming it's harmful to the city's economy. State transit officials then sued the federal government over its effort to stop the toll. According to a new court filing, officials have agreed to allow the congestion pricing to stay in place until at least late July to give the judge on the case more time to consider the motions.
Here's a live look at Ocean City on the Hershey Exteriors cam. You have just enough wind at the coast to keep you a little warmer, so to speak. 39 there, but cold inland, near freezing as a freeze warning continues through mid-morning. Sunny and cool today with less wind. Protect your plants again tonight for some patchy frost. Then increasing rain chances later in the week into the weekend. Not looking like a washout. Your forecast details coming up in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
Time is 5:18, and you are looking live at a cold morning in Ocean City. It's also a breezy morning, and I think if you can look out on our live shot there, you can see that breeze playing out on the water. Bob, if you're along the coast, you may think it's cold. It's even colder inland.
It is, Matt. And, you know, we had some breezes overnight for everybody, and that was mixing the atmosphere and keeping our temperatures above freezing. But now inland areas, the winds have gone calm, and now those temperatures are beginning to fall a little more. So we still have that freeze warning in effect until 9 a.m., essentially for everybody except for the immediate Delaware coast. And then chilly today, warming up through the mid-morning, so to speak, but clear and chilly, lighter winds today. And I think we do get into into the 50s. But here's that freeze warning that continues for all of Sussex County, excluding the immediate coast, with temperatures in the mid to upper 30s there. So I hope you protected your plants as temperatures are approaching freezing. From Salisbury to Colburn, Newark, and Sinnapunxet, you also have a freeze warning until mid-morning, till 9 a.m. And then Hurlock to Easton and Cambridge, also that freeze warning until 9. As I mentioned, the winds are calm now for the most part inland areas, and that's allowing temperatures to fall to freezing in Milton, 32 in Delmar, 33 in Salisbury, 34 in Georgetown. Just check Millsboro, 34 there, but a breeze at the coast is keeping you a few degrees above freezing. In fact, we're seeing wind gusts over 20 miles per hour in some places, so that is definitely mixing up the atmosphere with feels like temperatures upper 20s Indian River Inlet and Salisbury, feels like 34 in Georgetown right now. So we've got the clear skies, high pressure moving in. It's just to our west. Had it been centered over the top of us, and temperatures really would have tanked this morning. But we're starting to see that high sliding over the top of us, and then that will bring calmer conditions today with sunshine and lighter winds, thankfully. Here's Futurecast this morning. We're looking at temperatures right around the freezing mark inland areas, mid to upper 30s at the coast, and then it's a slow climb throughout the day. By noon, we're into the mid 40s, a little cooler at the beaches. And note the absence of arrows. That means the winds are much lighter. By 4 p.m., around 50 in Millsboro, 52 in Salisbury, but lagging a little bit at the beaches with temperatures in the 40s here. As we go through the overnight hours, mostly clear skies, then clouds increasing late. I would protect those plants again just in case, because temperatures could get frosty near the mid 30s as we go into Tuesday morning. Then we increase the clouds and an onshore flow as we go into your Tuesday, and we're looking at temperatures into the 50s with increasing clouds. Looks like shower chances increase tomorrow night as the winds are thankfully lighter today. But then as we go into the evening hours, they start to turn in out of the south and southeast, and that will start to bring in some more moisture. And we are looking at rain showers that will develop on Friday. It looks like kind of a washout on Friday as the system develops offshore. Saturday, lingering showers, and then I think it does start to dry out for your Sunday. And as far as the next chance for that frost, that would come tomorrow morning. Then I think we're frost-free after that. Paul Davis, 7-day forecast, 52 today, still a little frosty tomorrow morning at 36, 56 Thursday, and then showers developing Thursday night, rain Friday, 57. Passover does look a little wet, 56, and then it dries out for Palm Sunday, 59, and then warming up into early next week. And congratulations to Joan Wheatley from Seaford on winning a new umbrella from Paul Davis and Coast TV.
Thank you, Bob. Happening now, Avelo Airlines is agreeing to a long-term deal flying for the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, or known as ICE. The company is one of a small number of airlines cashing in on the multi-million-dollar business of deportation flights. Avelo is headquartered in Houston. They have flights to and from Wilmington, Delaware, and they say the ICE flights will be both domestic and international to support the Department of Homeland Security's deportation efforts. One immigration advocate says these types of flights are a big money business.
Right now, as best I can tell, DHS is spending about between 25 and $35 million a month.
And the deal with Avelo will also include the transport of people in ICE custody domestically, typically from the 24 detention centers across the U.S.
In a statement to Coast TV, Avelo Airlines said in part, "We determined this charter flying will provide us with the stability to continue expanding our core scheduled passenger service and keep our more than 1,100 crew members employed for years to come." And you can find more about this situation at coasttv.com.
Delmar officials are attempting to finalize its 2026 fiscal year budget. A workshop on that budget taking place today. Town is considering a total budget of over $11 million. This includes over $4 million in the Maryland part of the town and over $2 million from the Delaware part of Delmar. That workshop is set for 6 p.m. at Town Hall.
Up next on Coast TV News Today, Inland Bay's dismay will tell you why the center says there could still be hope after the financial loss. Stay with us on Coast TV News Today. We are learning more about the Center for the Inland Bay's fear of losing funding. This after the center's director said federal cuts mean a huge loss for that organization. The director spoke at that Sussex Preservation Coalition meeting on Tuesday night. He said with the help from people on the coast, there may be some hope for the center.
Our whole watershed needs care. And so the opportunity here is to let people know how it needs care, why it is that we do the things that we do, and how it is that they can pitch in and help.
Toulouse tells CoastTV they will be losing $1.6 million. He says they will have to find other ways to get funding. And Matt, sub 40 degrees this morning. That is just ideal beach weather.
Says the sarcastic one. Maybe it's ideal if you live in Alaska. I have different standards, Bob.
Yeah.
I do too. But hey, at least it's frost-free at the beaches and above freezing. But it's cold. 35 Fenwick Island, 37 this morning in Ocean City with sunshine. And then we're only into the mid-40s this afternoon. Lots of sunshine. At least the wind's a lot lighter. So a smoother ferry ride up to Cape May from Lewis, starting at 37, ending up around 47 at 5. Similar conditions in Rehoboth with lots of sunshine. On the bay side, 1 foot waves on the bay, and it's a cold start in Cambridge, a high around 50 later on today, and similar conditions in Crisfield, upper 40s for you around 5 p.m. We are going to increase the chances for rain end of the week into the weekend. Much more on that coming up in the next half hour.
Break on CoastTV News today. Fenwick Island funding issues will tell you where FEMA is now diverting money that was meant for the town.
Also, voter verification, how a new bill could change the way you vote in the first state.
And protecting your plants will tell you how you can keep your foliage safe from the possible freeze this morning. CoastTV News today. We'll be right back.
Now on Coast TV News.
A freeze warning continues through mid-morning, then sunny and cool today with less wind. Protect your plants again tonight for patchy frost. Details coming up.
Tracking whale tragedy, the failed attempt to beach the dead whale at the Indian River Inlet and its status this morning.
Coastal cash cut, the reaction in Fenwick Island after the loss of federal money for programs designed to protect its beaches.
Pairing primary dates. We look at the bill approved by the Delaware House that changes the election calendar in the state.
This is Coast TV News Today.
April 9th, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us.
Time is 5:31 on the day before the Masters. We've been talking Masters during our commercial breaks. We're also talking about freezing at temperatures.
Yeah. The good thing is the Masters are being held in Georgia, and I think it's slightly warmer there.
I don't think they will need that heavy sweater when playing in Georgia.
So, but you can still always buy a Masters sweater. I mean, you know, it's a good excuse. But
might need a sweater today around here.
Oh, absolutely, Bob. I think layers, that's a given.
Yeah, absolutely, and good morning to you guys. Yeah, layer up this morning. Might need the ice scraper inland areas if we do develop frost. We had a little bit of a breeze stirring things up earlier, but now it's gone calm inland, and it's getting cold. 33 in Millsboro, 31 in Delmar, 33 in Salisbury, 32 in Seaford and Milton, with mid to upper 30s at the coast. You have a breeze here, and that's mixing things up and keeping you a few degrees above freezing, and those winds up to about 17 miles per hour. Feels like temperatures now 27 Indian River Inlet, 27 in Salisbury. So bottom line is it's cold out there. At least the winds are light. Freeze warning away from the coast. So Highway 9, 113 up through Georgetown to Seaford and Delmar. You're looking at temperatures at or below freezing here in the next hour. The same goes for Wycomico County. It's Somerset, Dorchester, and Worcester County. And then the Eastern Shore also under that freeze warning through 9 a.m. Clear skies. The winds are beginning to die down as high pressure is sliding in from the west right now, and that means we're looking at lots of clear skies, much lighter winds, but cold temperatures this morning around freezing or below, and then it's a slow climb through the 30s into the 40s, and then as we go into the afternoon hours, mid to upper 40s early afternoon. By 4:30, around 52 in Salisbury, 50 in Millsboro, but cooler 40s and 50s at the coast, and then clear into this evening. Your ferry ride up to Cape May, not too bad. Winds much lighter, but it's cold with lots of sunshine, temperatures in the 30s and then 40s later this morning.
Thank you, Bob. We're now going to take a live look outside at Salisbury this morning on this very cold Wednesday morning. Right now, it's hard to see if there is any frost outside. We do see some cars driving, so of course be careful as you drive this morning. Visibility was better this morning than yesterday, no fog. But again, as we near the middle of April, we are experiencing some cold conditions.
It is our top story this morning, a winter-like feel in April. We are dealing with cold conditions. Temperatures are around the freezing mark of 32 degrees. So you may be wondering how to keep your foliage friends safe. Experts at Bellaterra Landscapes and Garden Centers say for plants that are rooted in the ground, covering them up with an old sheet or old newspaper is fine, but for those in pots, you should consider them moving inside a shed or a garage.
Happening now, the Murr Institute is still following the dead whale recently found in the Indian River Bay. That whale has now floated into the inlet, and the Murr Institute attempted to beach that whale on Tuesday as it moved out to sea, but it was moving too fast. The whale now is headed south and can be identified by the orange ball float still attached to it.
A bill being reviewed in the Delaware Senate is attempting to have one primary date in Delaware instead of the two that take place during presidential election years. On Tuesday in the House, Bill 65 passed by an overwhelming majority. It applies to statewide, county, and municipal primaries. The new date is the fourth Tuesday in April, and that would align with the date of the presidential primaries in Delaware. And if this is signed into law, it will take effect in 2027.
This just in, an update to Delaware's code on voting was introduced yesterday in the House. The act requires photographic identification in order to vote. House Bill 112 is sponsored by the Milford area Republican Brian Shoup. Last month, President Trump signed an executive order that requires proof of U.S. citizenship to vote. With no apparent support from Democrats in the state House, it will be a challenge for this bill to get to the floor for a full vote.
FEMA funding, called a BRIC grant, is being pulled from Fenwick Island. It's part of a rerouting effort to provide more support to hurricane recovery in North Carolina. Fenwick Island Mayor Natalie Magdeburger says the FEMA-supported grant would have been used to bring on engineers to determine changes needed in response to rising sea levels. Some of these changes include potential alterations and repairs to existing bulkheads along the coast. The mayor says the BRIC grant would have totaled roughly $300,000, and Fenwick Island estimated to cover around 25% of that.
And the giant Cool Spring Crossing development is back after a year pause. Developers want to build something called Cool Springs Crossing off of Route 9 and Cool Spring Road in Milton.
Plans are for about 2,000 housing units and more. The Sussex Preservation Coalition, they've been vocal in their opposition. And CoastTV News reporter Brendan Conroy shows us what the group wants people to consider regarding this project.
New developments keep popping up on the coast, but not everyone wants to see that happen.
It's just the wrong place, the wrong time.
The proposed Cool Spring Crossing project is back in the works. Sussex Preservation Coalition President Jill Hicks thinks the development will strain county resources.
It's a problem with infrastructure. It's not just the traffic, it's the schools can't handle that, and they have let us know that. Emergency services can't handle that many people.
Eileen Greenfield, on the other hand, is not against this new development at all. She says if growth can happen positively, why not bring it on?
I do think we need infrastructure there, and I think we need a lot of organizations and people to come forward and be together in a planned community for the area.
The coalition making efforts to preserve the coast. For Coast TV News, I'm Brendan Conroy.
New this morning, people living in Worcester County will soon have to pay more for water and sewer services. County officials are holding information sessions to explain the rate increases in fiscal year 2026. The county says some of the increases are due to aging infrastructure and increased chemical and equipment costs. People in Ocean City can learn about changes at Mystic Harbor and other facilities during a session at Stephen Decatur High School.
We are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. New tariffs on imports from dozens of countries are now in effect. Customs and Border Protection says most range from 11 to 50%. However, China is facing an 84% bump on goods. The total hike for Chinese imports is 104%. China already is responding by vowing to, quote, fight to the end. President Donald Trump says his team is working on tailored deals that eventually could lower some of those tariffs. In the meantime, American businesses have to pay up.
It's going to be legendary. You watch, legendary in a positive way.
American families will pay more for food and for pharmaceuticals. They'll pay more for cars and gasoline and clothing, everything.
Most economists say the fees will pass on some or all of that cost to the American consumers.
We have a lot more news to get to. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, Delaware drought details will tell you the current state of weather conditions in the state according to a new website.
Also, shorebirds take two. After a Tuesday postponement, the birds make another attempt for their home opener.
But first, Beach Grass Benefits will tell you how an annual event in Fenwick Island helps improve Delaware's coastline. Stay with us on Coast TV News Today.
We salute Brigadier General James A. Benson. Brigadier General James A. Benson serves as the Assistant Adjutant General of the Delaware Army National Guard, a role he assumed in June 2023. Since beginning his military career in 1992, General Benson has held various leadership positions and received extensive military education, including a Master of Strategic Studies from the Army War College. He has been recognized for his service with multiple commendations, such as the Bronze Star during deployments in Iraq and Afghanistan. His leadership significantly enhances the operational readiness and effectiveness of the Delaware Army National Guard.
Spicer Brothers and Coast TV are honoring military persons and first responders serving Delmarva. If you have a family member, friend, or community member that you would like to nominate for a Coast TV salute, go to coasttvsalutes.com.
Just about 5:42 on this cold April morning. Tidal Health Cam just above freezing in Salisbury. The roads are dry. The visibility is good. We're now below freezing in Delmar, Redden, and Milton as well, as the winds have gone calm. At the beaches, a little bit of a breeze, and you're in the mid to upper 30s. So no frost or freeze problems here as we have some gusty winds, but calm winds inland areas. Well, that's what's giving us the freezing conditions. And it feels like 20s and 30s out the doors, so make sure you bundle up. We do have the clear skies, good visibility right now, and high pressure building in today promises lots of sunshine and much lighter winds. We like to see that. Today's checklist, don't need the umbrella, may need the ice scraper inland areas. Could be a little bit of frost, but bundle up. It's cold out there, and make sure if you have the sunscreen if you're outside for an extended period of time. Warm beverage is a must today, and have the shades too. And call the Coast TV First Alert weather phone, sponsored by Brockstead Mandalis Federico.
New this morning, Fenwick Island will hear an update from the impacts of its beach grass planting. It takes place at today's environmental committee meeting. The town says the efforts help to build and protect the sand dunes and have progressed vegetation along the coastlines. It was last month that the 35th annual event was held.
Delaware is setting its eye on the need for affordable housing. For the past few months, a task force has been studying the shortage, and it now has released its final report. This report serves a statewide guideline to boost affordable housing. It includes key recommendations like expanding funding and streamlining the approval process. The Delaware Housing Director says home supply is not meeting demand.
The type of development, the type of density, the type of housing supply that we want our new system, as we recreate it, as we re-envision it, to produce for us is different than what they've seen over the past several decades.
As for implementing the plan, Heckle says they're seeing progress and hope for more.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Yes, it's the Shorebirds home opener, take 2 tonight at Purdue. Let's get you ready for the broadcast on DSN. Delmarva looks to win its first game of the season against the Fayetteville Woodpeckers. The Astros single-A affiliate comes into this series at 1-2 on the year. Our coverage on DSN begins at 7 p.m. tonight. First pitch is slated for 7:05. And remember, this is exclusively over the air. You cannot stream Shorebirds baseball on DSN+. Last night's game will be made up tomorrow as part of a doubleheader beginning at 5:35. Salisbury men's lacrosse is also in action later today. The Seagulls are 13-0 to begin the season, and Salisbury has racked up 6 ranked wins in the process. The Gulls are in search of their 14th national title in program history, which would pass Hobart for the most in the history of Division III lacrosse. Our next men's lax broadcast is next Tuesday when the Gulls host St. Mary's. Speaking of high-level lax, how about what Cape Henlopen did last night? The Vikings hosted Maryland 4A power Broadneck, and Evan Burris and company took care of business. Cape held the Bruins to just 3 goals the entire game. The Vikings moved to 5-1 in the season with the 8-3 win. Cape can improve that further tonight at Dover at 7 p.m. See you tonight at Purdue Stadium, or we hope you tune into our broadcasts against Shorebirds and Woodpeckers. All the action begins at 7. That is for sports.
And coming up tonight on DSN, it's that Shorebirds home opener. Then at 10:30, it's the final score. And for your DSN Plus lineup at 4, Parkside takes on Kent Island in boys lacrosse. Also at 4, it's high school tennis when Decatur visits Snow Hill. Cape is at Milford for girls lacrosse, and at 5:30, high school boys lacrosse as Indian River travels to Sussex Academy.
Got some movie news. Now, here's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
If we want to bring the world back from the brink, we have to deal with him. Should he choose to accept?
Smart people on every side are close to panicking.
Tom Cruise is headed to the Cannes Film Festival. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning is set to premiere at the French Film Fest May 14th, ahead of its U.S. theatrical debut May 23rd.
That 82 season, it was chaotic.
It's a blue-collar town. We were a blue-collar ball club.
Every single guy had his own way of being different.
Maybe no baseball town and team were ever better matched than Milwaukee and the 1982 Milwaukee Brewers. The documentary Just a Bit Outside shows how that squad of eclectic characters captured a city's heart and the American League pennant, coming within one game of a World Series title. Just a Bit Outside streams on the Roku channel beginning Friday. Getting my peanuts and Cracker Jack in Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
We're seeing cold and breezy conditions at the beaches right now in the Dry Tech Camp 38 in Ocean City. Freezing conditions inland areas, and we continue a freeze warning through mid-morning. Sunny and cool today with less wind. Protect your plants again tonight for some patchy frost with increasing rain chances into the end of the week and weekend. Your forecast details coming up in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
The time is now 5:49, and we are taking a live look outside at Ocean City this morning. And Bob, it is cold out there. We do have that freeze warning in effect until around 9 o'clock this morning. So just be careful. The traffic and driving this morning, visibility, roads, those were in good condition.
Yeah, everything's good in that department for sure, Lisa. It's the cold that is in place now. And those winds have died down inland areas, and that has allowed temperatures to really dip now, down to 30 in Delmarva and Redden, 34 in Georgetown, 31 in Seaford and Milton. Just check Millsboro, 32 there, 33 in Salisbury. But at the coast, you have a breeze, and temperatures are up a little bit here, 38 in Ocean City, with Bethany Beach at 36 and Rehoboth right now at 37 degrees. As we're seeing calm conditions now inland areas, and with the clear skies, that's allowing temperatures to dip. While we do have a little bit of a breeze at the coast right now, it feels like temperatures are down there into the upper 20s in Salisbury and Indian River Inlet, and feeling like low to mid 30s. So it's cold out there. We continue the freeze warning interior Sussex County until 9 a.m., excluding the immediate coast where you're just a little warmer. But you actually do have it down to the coast, that freeze warning near Ocean Pines and Ocean City towards Salisbury, and the eastern shore also seeing that freeze warning until 9 a.m. As we're looking at clear skies and light winds right now, and high pressure is moving in. Had it been right over the top of us most of the night, temperatures really would have tanked. But we had that breeze, but now that breeze is settling down as that high is moving over the top of us, and that will ensure lighter winds today and beautiful sunny skies. Looking forward to that. But it's cold this morning, so leave extra time to get to your destination as temperatures slowly rise above freezing through the mid-morning hours. I think by 9 a.m. we're all well above freezing with 30s and 40s, and then rising through the 40s into the lower 50s by 4 p.m. around Seaford, 51, and 52 in Salisbury, around 50 in Millsboro, but cooler 40s and 50s at the coast. This evening is clear with temperatures in the 40s and 30s, but I think some clouds overnight and a breeze picking up. Well, that means a slightly warmer start Thursday morning with temperatures into the mid-30s, but protect your plants once again because there could be some patchy frost inland areas. We thicken up the clouds on Thursday with an onshore flow, and it's chilly with temperatures into the 50s, and then rain chances increase Thursday into Friday. Lighter winds for today do turn to the south and southeast, more of an onshore flow as we go into Thursday, and those winds starting to pick up, getting that raw feel again, as the rain will be building in as we go into Friday, especially into Friday evening and Friday night. Could be a washout, and Saturday looking kind of wet as well with low pressure developing offshore. I think Sunday we do start to dry things out. Once again, looks like a frost possibility as we go into Thursday morning, so protect your plants. Paul Davis 7-day forecast, 56 clouding up on Thursday with rain on Friday, 57. Could be a little rainy for Passover on Saturday, 56, and then Palm Sunday, I think we could see some peaks of sun, 59, and then milder and drier as we go into early next week.
Thank you, Bob. As drought and dry conditions persist, Delaware has launched a new website to track those conditions. This is the new Drought Resources and Awareness website. DENREC says the platform will provide updates on precipitation, groundwater levels, and other indicators of drought across the state. According to the latest update posted on the website, March precipitation was higher than average in most parts of Delaware, especially in Sussex County.
2 people are now facing charges in Ocean City as the police there say they were arrested after selling drugs in the town. According to the Ocean City Police Department, Patrick Sabatino and Rebecca Bivens were arrested on April 3rd after police searched Sabatino's home. The investigation revealed Sabatino sold crack cocaine, powder cocaine, and crystal meth to an undercover officer. Both suspects are being held without bond.
Temperatures hovering around freezing in Salisbury with bright skies. It's going to be a beautiful day. Just have to get past this freeze warning that's in place through mid-morning. Otherwise, sunshine and cool today with less wind. And protect your plants again tonight with patchy frost. Increasing rain chances later Friday into the weekend, but not looking like a washout. I'll have your 10-day forecast coming up next.
The time is now 5:56, and we're going to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
And today's coastal pet of the day this hour, enjoying what all spring has to offer. On your screen, that's Tashi. As you can see, Tashi is loving the flowers in downtown Lewis. Who doesn't love the flowers there? She's anxiously awaiting tulips to bloom. Tashi was submitted to us by Connie and Lewis.
And we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen.
That's where you'll see the QR code. Scan that, get your friends to us, and then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
And it's 5:57, so we're going to take another quick look at our very chilly forecast.
Bob? I thought we were in spring.
Yeah, I bet all those flowers are all closed up right now saying, where did spring go? Hang in there, flowers. It's going to warm up eventually, but we have a freeze advisory through mid-morning with 30s, at least light winds today, and then temperatures into the 50s later on. I'm going around 52 for a high. Paul Davis 10-day forecast. Protect your plants again tonight, some patchy frost. Mid-50s through the end of the week, increasing rain Friday. Looking a little rainy for Saturday for the beginning of Passover, 56. Palm Sunday, I think it dries out, 59, and then it warms up into next week, and then next Friday, Good Friday, it's milder, and I think maybe looking good into the Easter holiday weekend. We'll continue to watch that.
Is good news, Bob. All right, coming up in our next hour, Whale Watch, the latest issue in the saga over the dead whale near the Indian River Inlet. That and more when Coast TV News Today continues.